Playoff time at Texas Stadium. Crowd making their way inside for the Arlington High Western Hills contest. Arlington 8-2 on the year. Western Hills at 5-5. Hello again, everyone. John Nelson, this bi-district playoff game, working with Brad Brown. As always, we're just minutes away from tonight's kickoff. Brad, you talk about the Arlington Colts. It's been a record-setting year for Ken Ferguson, but also a record-setting year for Steve Chase.
Yes, it is. He set 5 school records, and he set 2 city records so far this year, and he can set a couple more tonight, possibly.
Arlington High not having good luck the last 2 years in the first round, the bi-district playoff round of state high school football playoffs, and I know they would love to knock off Western Hills tonight. What about Todd Bloom? If the passing game does break down, we'll see Todd Bloom, who has run for over 1,000 yards.
Well, I think Todd really has to be able to run early in the game to help open up the passing lanes. Sometimes it works just the opposite, but I really think that Arlington has to establish the run so that their passing game can be even more effective.
Okay, Western Hills, they changed a little bit offensively, and since going to the Wishbone, it's been a different season for them.
Certainly has. Tenafree Jackson, their quarterback, at the start of the year, he was running from the power I, or they were running the power I, so that he wouldn't have to carry the ball. He was shot this last summer in an accident, and they didn't think that he would recover in time, but he showed that by the 4th game of the year, he could take a hit. And that's when they went to the Wishbone. And since that time, they've been 5-1. And he's been a very, very effective option quarterback. He's very good with a pitch.
Tenafree Jackson lucky to be playing football at all. You saw Western Hills earlier this year. What about that Wishbone attack and the running backs?
Well, they've got 3 or 4 backs that are good, and they can run, and they're liable to break over 100 yards at almost any given time. Credell is one of them, and Hawkins is another one, and I think Bryant was another one, or Freeman. And they've got several fellas that can do it. They don't throw the ball very much, and Jackson does not run the ball very much. He does not keep it. He usually pitches off.
Should be a wide-open contest. A second season tonight for Arlington High and Western Hills. Tonight's bi-district playoff game from Texas Stadium is brought to you by Coble Cravens Insurance, your independent insurance agency in Arlington. Hoopla Headquarters. Show your colors with gifts and accessories from Hoopla Headquarters in Arlington. Team Spirit Shop, your leather jacket headquarters on West Division. Pizza Inn. If you love pizza, then Pizza Inn is the place to live it up. And Austin Bakery. For the most unique wedding and party cakes around, call or come by Austin Bakery today. Well, the Arlington Colts are creatures of habit, and their habit is winning. They'd like to be around for the rest of November and in December as well for the playoff picture. Brad and I return with game notes and the opening kickoff from Texas Stadium right after this. On the year, this is how they got here at 5-5. They lost their first 4 games, then beat Trimble Tech and finished strong. Victories over Eastern Hills, Southwest, and O.D. Wyatt. They lost to Dunbar at 20-10. They only lost the last 5 weeks of the season. The Arlington Colts at 8-2, going down to Lamar and going down to Sam Houston 25-13. 8 up and 2 down on the year. In fact, the last 4 years, Arlington High has a record of 36-8-1. That's their total the last 4 years. Captains and co-captains for the Arlington Colts. And the playoff history has been a long and storied one for Arlington, but for Western Hills, they first tasted playoff action back in 1969 when they beat O.D. Wyatt, and most recently losing to Wichita Falls 5 years ago by a single point. So Western Hills out of the playoffs for 5 years. The Arlington playoff history started, well, a long time ago in the 1930s. Most recently, it's been tough in the opening round. Bi-district losses to Nimitz and L.D. Bell. Arlington first tasted playoff success back in 1939 when they lined up against Garland High School. Western Hills in road white with green trim and gold trim. Arlington in home green. Western Hills, as we talked about since going to the bone, 5-1. Defense has shut down the opposing quarterback just about for the entire year, allowing 57 yards of passing per game. The entire defense only giving up 171 yards. Arlington making its 4th straight playoff appearance. That has never happened in school history. Trying to snap a 2-game playoff losing streak. Ken Ferguson has set 11 of 12 school passing records, has set 10 city records. And Steve Chase, when he goes on defense, the interception leader in District 8-5A with 6. In the middle is Jeff Johnson. You see Chase, Staley Schiller, Ken Ferguson, and Greg Kiblinger. And representing Western Hills, Ryan Thomason, number 60. Number 43 is Jesse Haynes. He runs back punts. Damian Gomes, number 88, and Joey Snyder, number 74. Gomes is the tight end. Ken Ferguson representing the Arlington Colts at midfield. Western Hills averaging 16 points a game. Their record last year identical to this year at 5-5. Coached by Walter Miller. One of the assistants, a former UTA graduate assistant, Ben Dodson. They turn, and the decision resting with Western Hills. They will receive the opening kickoff, defend the goal to our right. Arlington goes on defense and defends the goal to our left. As far as emerging a winner, if you're a Western Hills fan, they've got to get pressure on Ken Ferguson for most of the night. Must establish the run and take as much time off the clock when they go on offense and keep away from the interceptions and the fumbles. Keys for Arlington High, emerging a winner, not turning it over, capitalizing on any Western Hills mistake. Get the ball in the hands of Todd Bloom if the passing game is not there, and stop that fine option of Western Hills. The Cougars averaging 187 yards of rushing a game, and the Arlington Colts on the field. Brad, it only seems like yesterday that we were here in 1987. That's a great year for Arlington High that started right here.
It sure did. And it ended drastically right here also against Odessa Permian, as they have hurt the hopes of a lot of Arlington teams. In fact, the last 3 years, but they won't do it this year because they are not in the playoffs.
Arlington coming off a 30-14 victory against Weatherford. Todd Bloom over 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns on the ground, and a very capable receiver.
Right. 480 yards receiving on 28 catches and 4 more touchdowns.
Western Hills coming off a victory against O.D. Wyatt. They shut out the Chaparrals 33-0.
Yeah, I saw that game, and I was very impressed with Jackson as a quarterback. He is a very, very good on the option pitch. He keeps that ball until the last possible minute. There you see his stats: 34 for 79, 470 yards, and only 1 touchdown pass all year. In fact, Ken Ferguson the last 2 weeks threw more for more yardage than Jackson has all year long. Jack Ferguson threw for 580 yards passing the last 2 weeks.
Kevin Hansen kicks off for Arlington High. Back deep for the Cougars, you've got Jesse Haynes and Don Lanier. Lanier's number 44, Haynes number 43.
Lanier was one of their bigger running backs at the start of the year, and then apparently he must have gotten hurt or something, because he hasn't been heard of too much since the 3rd game.
There's a leading rusher for the Cougars. Over 700 yards, 703, Claskell Freeman, a junior.
He runs very hard.
Colt fans are ready on the opposite side, and the Cougars on their feet below us. Kevin Hansen, a junior, about to get this bi-district playoff game underway. The winner meets South Grand Prairie.
And this could be a real good ball game.
Should be most entertaining. Hansen got underneath it, fielded over the shoulder at the 25-yard line by Tony Blanco, and swarmed under. And Western Hills on offense for the first time. Tenafree Jackson, the 150-pound junior, the starting quarterback for the Cougars. Tenafree will get it into the hands of Classical Freeman, also Jesse Haynes. You've got Crydell, the running back. John Westroom and Brian Tabor are the receivers. The offensive line anchored by Luke Moore, number 54, a senior. 1st and 10 Cougs from the 30. Freeman out to the 32-yard line. Here's the Arlington Colt defense. Cope, Jones, Simpson, and Johnson, the front four. The linebackers, Bodorf, Davern, and Ladon. And the secondary, Melton, Wynn, Kiblinger, and Chase. The most experienced secondary. 2nd down and 7 for Western Hills. Jackson to Freeman. A tough yard.
Yeah, once again, the Colts swarmed on him there as they went right up through the center. Nothing too imaginative on the first 2 plays.
Gets it to the 34-yard line. It brings up 3rd and 6.
Watch for the sweep on this one.
Number 39 meeting him in the hole, Jake Hill. Number 7 in, and that's Chad Walker. He goes wide left. From the wishbone, Tenafree Jackson. Here's the option. Jackson turns it up, gets rid of it, and into the hands of Con Wynn. Still loose, and it looks like Arlington High has come up with it. If it's Jeff Johnson, it's Colt football.
It is. It's Jeff Johnson. And that's one time he kept the ball a little bit too long. Big break for the Colts right off the bat here.
A little volleyball play from Con Wynn to Jeff Johnson.
Good field position, too. You can see him pitch that ball off.
Wasn't going to get it to him.
Yeah, just couldn't get it out far enough.
There's Johnson right there.
Pouncing on it.
1st and 10 Colts from the Cougar 45. Record-setting quarterback Ken Ferguson tosses to Todd Bloom inside the 45 and slides to about the 42-yard line. The lineup for the Arlington Colts: Ken Ferguson, 6'3", 190-pound senior, the QB. The running back is Todd Bloom. The wide receivers, Chase, Melton, Kiblinger, and Roten. Ferguson has used 12 different receivers this year. Offensive line, Moore, Maul, Schiller, Tower, and Sean Murphy. 2nd and 7. Quick drop back. Ferguson out on the flat and overthrows Jake Allen, number 81.
Yeah, well covered out there by Cedric Bryant.
The defense for the Western Hills Cougar. The down linemen, Hackworth, Thomason, Gibson, and Gomes. The linebackers, Bryant, Shelley, and Peterson, 2 juniors for the linebacking corps. And the secondary, Hudson, Crosby, Goodale, and Manuel, 2 sophomores, a junior and a senior.
And keep your eye on number 33, Curtis Peterson. He is their leading tackler.
3rd down and 7 for the Arlington Colts. Ferguson sprints out left side, looking for Allen, now throws back, has Melton. Melton at the 30-yard line.
First down, 18 yards on that pickup.
Jack Melton, a junior, on the receiving end of a Ken Ferguson pass, over 3,000 yards in his career.
Right, make that 13 yards instead of 18.
A sidearm delivery to Jack Melton.
That's one of them. Well, there you see Melton, 17 receptions, 217 yards. One of the amazing things about Ken Ferguson is he can throw from almost any angle.
We're on the Cougar 30. Sideline left, open field right for Ken Ferguson. 2 receivers cut on either side. Going deep for Edmondson. It's a jump ball, intercepted at the 8, and he's down at that point. Number 82, Andre Crosby.
And Crosby and Edmondson got their feet tangled up. Edmondson went down, no foul on it, and Crosby's the one that comes up with it. So turnovers back to back.
A fumble and an interception. Ken Ferguson, his 12th interception of the year. Crosby, oh, good body lean right over Edmondson.
And Crosby intercepted one against Wyatt last week and went back 50 yards with it for a touchdown.
Crosby's a sophomore. Cougars from just inside the 8. This is Jesse Haynes, and splattered by number 19, Travis Cope.
Nice play by Cope on the end position, a loss on the play.
We're glad you're with us. Just underway at Texas Stadium. 9:15 to go in the opening quarter. A loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Play hustled in now by John Westroom, number 25, a senior. Arlington giving up 192 yards of rushing and only 73 yards of passing. Option. Jackson decides to keep it and lunges to the 9.5-yard line.
They would like him to do that all day long and keep the ball himself, which he doesn't do too often because he does not have the speed that his other backs do. Credell probably is the fastest one of the backs. He has not handled it yet. He's number 22.
Back in the summer, Jackson was shot in the back with a .25 caliber pistol. 3rd and 8. Hudson out to the 12, and the Colts have held.
I think that was Credell.
Or Credell, I'm sorry.
Number 22. That's Montague Credell.
Montague's a junior, 76 carries, 425 yards, 4 touchdowns.
That brings up a 4th down. The Colts should get good field position. Bloom back to receive at the 47 in Western Hills territory.
Ron Looper, a senior, is the punter on 4th and 6. Standing 3 yards deep in the end zone. Gets a good center, not much of a rush. End over end. Bloom up with the right hand, bobbles it, and drops to one knee at the 48. Well, they call for the fair catch.
Yeah, then he dropped it, and I think he was wondering, gee, now I dropped it even after calling for the fair catch. Can I run or can't? So I think he did the smart thing, and if he didn't know, it's just to hold it and down it. But that's good field position for the Colts.
Second time they will have started inside the Western Hills 49-yard line. From the 48, right between the hash marks. Movement, no offside, or is there? Western Hills, and I believe they're going to flag Damian Gomes, number 88, for jumping across the neutral zone. Wasn't able to get back in a 3-point stance, or was he drawn offsides? Well, Western Hills feeling that he might have been drawn offside. Indication is motion Arlington High. Cost him 5 yards. Phil Moore, see what he does along the right side. He might have flinched, and he did. First and 15. Ferguson out on the fly over the middle of Roten. Wes Roten, 46-yard line, double teamed at that point.
About 6-yard pickup on that one.
Arlington crowd back in the playoffs. Their motto this year was 4 in a row. It has never happened before in Colt history. And they made it come true, entering the first round of the playoffs. From the 46-yard line, brings up 2nd down and 9. Option flip to Bloom, and is smashed.
Bryant right there to meet him, number 28. Todd didn't have a chance.
He just ran right through him. Cedric Bryant, a junior at 195. He stands 6'4", and that's a mismatch right there.
It sure is.
A loss of a yard, 3rd and 10.
Well, Ken Ferguson has just absolutely rewritten the record book. We've talked about it all year. Steve Chase, and we'll talk more about him, he has also rewritten the record book.
He's perhaps been the most vital cog in the Colt offense this year.
Oh, look at that.
Steve Chase.
Not Billy Truelove.
Truelove, number 8.
Boy, a deflection off the Western Hills man, and Truelove comes up with it. A big play. All the way down to the 21-yard line, close to a penetration.
Chase and Truelove are split wide left, and it goes to Truelove off with a tip.
Yeah, there you see. Went right through the hands of Curtis Peterson, number 33. It's a big play. That was almost in the 2nd interception.
From the Cougar 21. Looking for Chase. Ferguson going to keep it. He pumps and goes out of bounds at about the 18. Well, Chase wasn't able to get free from one of the linebackers on the outside.
Yeah, that's penetration number 1, though, of the game.
5:53 to go in the opening period. No score.
You have to respect Ferguson on the run also, because he is good. He has run for 312 yards this year.
Last week, Ferguson had 311 yards of passing. 2nd down and 7. Roten, Edmondson wide right. The toss to Bloom, can't get on track. Swarmed under at the 21.
And that time it was Gomes that came in to get him, number 88. Arlington has to get this running game untracked too, I think, to open up that passing game. They need to be able to run against this Western Hills team, which has been holding the opponents to 119 yards a game.
Arlington has outscored the opposition 2-1 this year in the opening period, 63 points to 30. There's the Western Hills coaching staff. It's 3rd down and 9 from the Cougar 21. No running back behind Ferguson. See what the run and shoot does here. Goes right side. Jake Allen over the middle and goes down at the 13. Is going to be short. About a yard short.
Right. And, well, it looks like more like 2 maybe. 4th and 2.
Jake Allen to 5'11" and 185. He has really come on the last 3 weeks. They've gone to him quite a bit.
Yeah, now another thing too that Arlington does is they switch sets of receivers. Now you saw 3 new receivers come in the game and 3 of them leave that time.
It's a short 2 on 4th down. Ferguson dives inside the 10 and has a 1st down. Option left side. Ferguson kept it. Went over the left guard and gets the 1st down.
And that's 1st down number 3 for the Colts. There you see Ken Ferguson. He dives over that 10-yard line. Knew he had to get down there close to it to get that 1st down.
1st and goal to go from the 9. 2 receivers to the right, 1 on the left. They give it to Bloom, able to surge forward to the 7. Todd running behind Staley Schiller, Brad Mall.
There goes Ricky Gibson in the game for the center of that Western Hills line. He's a nose guard, 230 pounds, number 94.
Western Hills 2-4 all time in the playoffs. 2nd and goal. The handoff to Bloom, might score. Todd's in the end zone.
Todd Bloom, 8 yards over the right side. Nice hole there for him. Opened up by Phil Moore.
Smoke through a keyhole.
And good block there by number 75, also Sean Murphy.
That's Todd's 15th rushing touchdown of the year, and the Colts strike first. Kevin Gibbs, number 59, the extra point kicker. Jack Melton is the holder, the junior. 3:37 time left in the 1st quarter. A low snap, spotted up, and no good. Pushed it off to the right.
Well, the Arlington team's having trouble with extra points tonight.
Arlington on the board, though. They lead it 6-0. Back with the Arlington Colt kickoff right after this. John Nelson back with Brad Brown, our telecable crew. Kevin.
Goof up or anything else. There's a lot of them out there. Let's go see it.
Well, it's going to be on tape too. So
there you go.
Ball actually spotted now at the 29, so they back up a yard. The up man in the wishbone is Haynes.
I was
and the
impressed
official's
with.
not quite sure here.
Yeah, I was impressed with the way Jesse Haynes ran against Wyatt. He runs very, very hard. Gets to that line in a hurry. He's tough to bring down. Now we've got a penalty flag.
Delay of game, Arlington. Following the kickoff. I'm totally clueless on that. I have no idea how you could get a delay of game when you're out there ready to line up against Western Hills. They can do it over again.
Well, they may have figured that ball was actually out of bounds on the kickoff. Maybe that's what they did.
I thought it was. He fielded it out of bounds.
That's what I thought, too, yeah. Well, apparently that's what the officials now are saying also.
So that should be the right call to do it over again.
Right. I noticed that Kevin Hansen's only taking a couple of steps, too, when he goes into that ball to kick it.
Head coach Mike O'Brien across the way, and his foot was on the 30-yard line. Why should Arlington be penalized when their man catches it out of bounds? You catch it out of bounds and you're penalized on the other side, so you got to kick off from the 35.
Well, I think they're probably saying that you have to kick it in bounds.
Yeah. Well, he tried to. It just carried out of bounds. Hansen will knock it again. Very high, very short. On the run, caught by Freeman. Classical Freeman, number 35, takes it out to the 41-yard line. You know the officials and everybody goes over the rule book before the first playoff game. Read every kind of finite rule that could come into play.
Right.
Anything can happen.
Well, you know, we've been down in the officials' rooms, too, before district games, too, and they do go over the playbook real good, the rule book, making sure that they do understand certain situations.
So much at stake in the playoff. Jackson, the screen collapses and is smashed at the 30-yard line.
And that's Jeff Johnson back there, the man who recovered the fumble a little while ago.
He picked him up and planted him.
Yeah, 11-yard loss on that one.
A huge loss.
I think I say 10 yards now.
Look at Johnson just pick him up and smash him. He planted him at the 30. Second down at 20.
This linebacking crew for the Colts is really a good one. Actually, Johnson, I believe, is playing a defensive end position tonight.
Number 22, Montague Cridell. Gets to the 34-yard line. Cridell, a junior. Arlington Colts, they've rallied around their battle cry, 4 in a row. 3rd and 16. Cougars down through the years playing teams like Woodrow Wilson, I.M. Terrell, Wichita Falls Rider. Option, Jackson gets the pitch off, 40-yard line, out to the 44-yard line. Number 35, Classical Freeman.
Brought down out there by Derek Jones and also Jay Davern.
Freeman over 700 yards.
Well, that brings up a 4th down and still 7 or 8 to go.
Needs a little over 7. 4th down. And they have to insert Kasanovich, Louis Kasanovich, number 52 in the offensive line. And dropping back is Ron Looper.
One thing to keep in mind, too, is Ron Looper is also the backup quarterback.
Is he?
Yes.
Looper, a good 15 yards behind the center, runs up. Oh, nice.
Good
nice
kick.
kick. Bloom at the 17 on the fair catch. Ron Looper averaging 44 yards, his longest punt 73, and that one good for 39, but it got up and stayed up.
Well, I saw him in the Wyatt game. He had a bad pass from center, went back and picked it up and threw a pass down to the 4-yard line for a 1st down, a big 1st down in that game. Play covered about 23 yards.
True Love and Chase go wide left. Roden, Melton, wide right. From the 17. Hands gives it to Bloom and tripped up goes down at the 17.
That's Damian Gomes again. He's been in on several tackles tonight so far for Western Hills.
He upset,
number 88.
Upset the timing of Bloom before he could get started. No gain, 2nd and 10.
I still think Arlington's going to need to be able to run through the middle. It's going to make things a lot easier for Ken Ferguson if they can.
Western Hills giving up just 88 yards of passing this year. Roll out Ferguson, a low throw, and Allen couldn't hold on to it. Tough catch for Jake Allen cutting across the middle.
Yeah, it's a nice try, but it is a tough ball to catch.
Brings up 3rd and 10. In the secondary, Roderick Manuel, number 13. There's Allen, and number 13, Paul Felton for AHS. 3rd down and 10 with 48 seconds to go in the first quarter. Arlington leading 6-0 on a Todd Bloom 7-yard run. A 47-yard drive for Arlington High. Ferguson has time. Bloom on the run. 30 out to the 32-yard line and a first down.
Another big pickup and a crucial, critical first down for the Colts.
He led him perfect because the pocket was about to collapse and got it to Todd.
Yeah. Watch the pressure coming in now from the left, from the blind side. He gets it away. Led Bloom just perfectly.
That's why the left side of the offensive line, and especially the guard, is so important, because that is the backside of Ken Ferguson. Your left guard has to be a hoss.
Yeah, Ferguson 5 for 8 now for 70 yards.
From the 32, the fake to Bloom. Ferguson out in the flat, caught.
There's
Chase. 45, Chase first down over midfield. Steve upended at the Western Hills 43-yard line. He came in here with 49 catches.
Yeah, 25 yards more on that one. Steve Chase, like we said earlier, it set several records, one of which is a career receiving record. So every one that he catches from this point just simply adds to that. That's his 79th catch of the year now, or for career rather, 50th on the year. The old record was 75 catches by Doug Seitz, set back in 1986 and 87 from Sam Houston.
And that is the end of the first quarter. So Arlington will begin from the Western Hills 42-yard line when we come back. It's Arlington High 6, Western Hills nothing. From Texas Stadium, where Arlington has it, on the Cougar 42-yard line. They're on top 6-0 as the Cougar gets a little breeze underneath that huge head. Three receivers to the right. They go to the left, and Bloom eaten alive on the short side of the field. Number 61, David Hackworth, first making contact.
And then Roderick Manuel, number 13, finishing him off. Big loss on that one, 3 yards.
2nd and 13. There you see the last tackle. The Colts have now scored in 52 consecutive games.
That's amazing.
2nd down and 13. Trips to the right. 2 receivers to the left. Ferguson to Chase, comes back for it. 40, 35, Chase, he could go. 20, and Chase down at the 19-yard line.
Amazing, another 24 yards on that pickup. 2 passes, 49 yards for Chase.
Only a desperate reach out saved Chase from going into the end zone.
That's right. Now with that pass, he just tied another city record. 51 catches in a year in a season. That ties him with Jeff Andrews from 1988.
Here's number 45, Morlando Shelley.
See, it just tripped him up there by the heel. They're not quite over the 20 yet, so it's not a penetration.
How many games has Chase kept Arlington High in this year?
Both offense and defense.
That's right. Hand off to Bloom. Has 5. Mark it off at 7 yards.
And another penetration. Number 2.
Arlington has been intercepted. The touchdown, and this is the 3rd possession. This started at their own 17.
Western Hills wants a timeout.
And that'll be their first of the half.
See Walter Miller and wanting to talk things over. There's Mike O'Brien on the other side talking with Ken Ferguson. Just to give you an idea, Steve Chase, what he's done this year. School records, he set a new school record for career receptions. The old record was 74 by Rusty Ward. Rusty Ward also had the season receiving record of 43. Chase now has 51. Chase also has over 700 yards now. The old record was 677 by Rusty Ward. And he caught 11 passes in the game against Weatherford last week, which tied the city record of 11 set by Doug Seitz, and also broke the Arlington school record of 10 by Rusty Ward. And he's had he's had a 2-touchdown game, and that also ties him with several others for Arlington. So you can see that Steve Chase has really done a lot and has been an extremely valuable asset for the Colt offense this year.
The only common opponent among these two teams is Denton. Arlington beat Denton 35-27, and Western Hills opened up the year going down to the Broncos 22-9. That's the only common opponent. Arlington has it, 2nd down and 4 from the Cougar 14. Bloom split out to the left with a Roten. Ferguson looking left. Here's the catch by Roten, a sliding grab at the 7.
And a first down.
Well, Felton.
That was Paul Felton rather than Roten.
Felton, the junior.
Yeah.
Well, 13 looks like 15.
Right, sure does, yeah. What the heck?
I mean, they go to 25 different receivers.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't keep up with Ferguson. I get lost. You know, you look down, you write down notes, and you look up, and there's another pass and another pass.
Well, it amazes me how he's able to spot as many receivers as he does.
And the Cougars are confused, and they will burn another timeout. We'll take a short break. We've got 10:20 to go in the first half. Arlington on top of Western Hills, 6-0. Goal, Arlington High from the Western Hills 7. Ferguson up to the line. Big gap in the offensive line. Now they split out. Ferguson rolls out, will throw, and half 6. It's B.J. Edmondson.
Man, I sound like a broken record, but that just tied the only record that Ken Ferguson did not hold as far as a school record goes, and that was touchdown passes in a year. That was number 18 for him, tying John Bates from 1987.
Edmondson's 2nd touchdown grab of the year. B.J. Edmondson, a junior at 5'8" and 152.
There's now 8 different receivers already tonight to catch passes.
Kevin Gibbs will try to get back that extra point. Arlington 12, Western Hills nothing. This one a little better. It's through. And that makes it 13-0. So touchdowns tonight by Todd Bloom and B.J. Edmondson. And we figured a wide open contest, at least from the Arlington offense. Now Western Hills has to come back. Trailing 13-0.
They have not been a real good come-from-behind team this year. They don't score that many points, only 16 points a game, and they've been giving up 14. And they have not faced a passer like Ferguson. Well, of course, not too many teams do. But the most yards they've ever given up passing this year was against Trinity, 139 yards. And Ferguson has already got 133 tonight in the first half. And the only other time they gave up, well, they did give up 200 yards against Tyler Lee.
And Lee had a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, they did.
Beat them 19-7. That was a home game for Western Hills.
Well, they had 2 long touchdown passes in that game, too, 43 and 46 yards against them. Lee had those.
Kevin Hansen and I believe the Cougars have inserted a receiver in anticipation up on the 30-yard line of Hansen again hitting it short, getting underneath it.
Yeah. Well, now Hansen kicked off from the right hash mark the first 2 times, and now he's kicking off from the left hash mark. This will be interesting.
Western Hills with 5 men at the 45-yard line.
And he's also gone back 7 or 8 steps this time. The first 2 times, he only went back 3 steps. So they may be changing their strategy here and going deep with it.
Okay, Hansen gets into it. This is Jesse Haynes, 25, tripped up and able to get a couple of more yards. Flag down and a fumble. What a bunch of confusion. I thought Haynes had gone out of bounds. He cut back, lost it. A marker down as they try to sort him out at the 30-yard line, and Arlington has come up with it. That looked like the first day of spring drills, and Haynes has thrown his helmet into the bench and is leaving.
Number 67 was the man that I believe came up with that. That would be Derek Tanner.
Well, they still got a penalty marker down and need to check that out. You can see how hot Jesse Haynes is. What a confusing kickoff. Marker is down. They haven't picked it up yet.
Apparently it must be against Western Hills. Otherwise they wouldn't have really signaled that was Arlington's ball.
Haynes was very close to stepping out of bounds. We've got a clip on the return against Western Hills. We'll have another look at the run back of Jesse Haynes.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Well, he's right on the line, just in bounds. Allen jerked the ball loose, Jake. Allen jerked it loose. I thought he was out of bounds, right on the line. And kind of a break here for Arlington. So a fumble on the kickoff. And Arlington takes over from the Cougar 30. Second fumble lost by Western Hills. Here's Bloom. 5-10. He's gone. Todd, 30 yards. Forget about it.
And that's his second touchdown of the night.
Early blowout. It's now 19-0. Todd Bloom threading his way 30 yards.
Up to that point, Arlington had only gained 19 yards on the ground.
Big hole to run through.
Todd Bloom with his 16th rushing touchdown of the year.
And Arlington now confused on the extra point. They're going to have to use the timeout.
Yeah, Walter Miller not real happy down on the sidelines for Western Hills. That I can understand. There's Todd Bloom.
19-0. Bloom now 44 yards of rushing on 9 carries. Well, last week against Weatherford, Arlington able to get 103 yards of rushing. Bloom had an even 100, 18 carries, 100 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Of course, Ken Ferguson had 311 yards of passing in that game, too.
And they had 22 first downs. 19-0. Following the fumble on the kickoff. And I don't see a kicker as they will go for 2, trying to make it 21. Arlington going for 2 here.
Might as well.
Billy Truelove isolated to the left. He got 3 receivers out to the right. 19-0. Roll out. They're open for a second. Tip. Number 13 got a hand on it. Manuel. So the 2-point conversion fails, but Arlington ups the count now. 10:01 to go in the half. Our new score, Arlington 19, Western Hills nothing.
Well, the way they started off on that first drive, Western Hills went down the field. It looked like there was going to be a little close game, but we're close to a blowout here already in the first half.
Kevin Hansen has been busy, number 5.
He's got that short approach again this time.
And uses the other hash mark this time.
Right.
End over end. It's short, carries down to the 22. Out over the 30. Out over the 35.
Kevin Johnson and Neil Zucker were the men in on the stop.
Glasgow Freeman, number 35, the return man. So the fumble kickoff will cost Western Hills 6. They now scrimmage for the 4th time in the half.
Right, and Arlington has certainly controlled the clock here in the first half.
Yes, they have. 9:55 to go in the first half. Stood up at the 39 and snowed under at that point.
Well,
running back, Freeman.
Western Hills running has not been able to do anything except after the first couple of plays that they had in the first quarter.
Total yards almost 9-1, 182 to 23. That's a good safe margin. 9-1 should win about any game. Jackson gives to his fullback, carries it out over left guard. Pascal Freeman, 195 and a junior.
That was Jason Simpson, number 44, that brought him down.
Jason's a junior. It brings up 3rd and 4. Cougars are down. They need points. Cedric Shores, number 1, wide to the right. No wishbone. Jackson behind, and Haynes swarmed under at the 38. Tenafree Jackson on the pitch, throwing it behind Freeman. Had to circle back and get it. Lost yardage.
The game that I saw him against Wyatt, he was under control at all times. Tonight he looks out of control on those pitches. He just is not making good pitches at all.
Jesse Haynes, and kudos to the Arlington defense. They stiffened up again.
Yeah, they really are. They're just forcing him something terrible.
3 and a punt for Western Hills. Looper. A low line drive takes a Cougar hop inside the 25. Inside the 20. And about another yard as it goes to the 17.
About a 43-yard kick on that one, maybe 44.
So Arlington with 7:59 to go in the first half, leading 19-0. Colts moving 83 yards, 30 and 47. First downs, lopsided, 9-0. Chase, Roten, Melton, wide left. Bloom out over the 21 to the 22. Got 5. He's 2nd down and 5 on the stop. Ricky Gibson, number 94 at 230, and a junior. Sam Houston is advanced to the 2nd round as they beat Eastern Hills. And a long and storied history at Texas Stadium with the Ring of Honor. Bob Lilly, and to his right, Don Perkins and Roger Staubach. Roger was here. I saw him Sunday night at the San Francisco game here in the press box. Bloom has near a first down to the 27-yard line. Might be a little short.
We've got a couple of Western Hills players, too, that are a little slow getting up.
Going to be a yard short. Man down for the Cougars, one of the linemen.
Yeah, Ricky Gibson was slow getting up, and now number 45, that's Marlando Shelley. He's going to come off the field, and so is Gibson.
The 3rd down and 1 for the Arlington Colts. There's number 94, Ricky Gibson. Shelley hurt his wrist, or right hand. Somebody might have stepped on it. Third down and 1 as the Colts break huddle. Ferguson backpedals across the middle. Roten with a first down catch.
Well, that was a nice catch by Wes Roten. He had to turn around and catch that in back. It was in back of him. And a nice catch, and be able to hold his balance, come down with the ball, and get the first down.
First down number 10.
Ferguson now 10 for 13 in the game, 136 yards, and 1 touchdown.
He'll pick you to death if you give him time.
Well, they've been doing it. The short passes, anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 yards all year long. and then let the receivers try and do their bit. And you saw how Steve Chase did twice.
From the 29, Steve Chase, the move man. And a penalty marker dropped by the umpire behind the defense, and delay of game against Arlington.
That umpire seemed to be playing farther back than normal in this game, mainly because of the passing, do you think?
I think he knows about the Arlington passing game and wants to really get a better look at the field, and he was almost to midfield before that snap of the football. But I think you're right. He has retreated about an extra 5 or 6 yards. First and 15 from the 24. Again, Chase in motion. Ferguson to Chase, caught and really bombed by the linebacker, Peterson.
No gain on that one, but that was his 52nd catch, and you now have a new leader in the city catching receiving corps for 1 year. With 52 catches, he passes the record set by Jeff Andrews in 1988.
52 catches, a new city record. Never have records been wiped away at a more rapid pace than this year.
Oh, it's amazing.
Look at the room for Ferguson. Well, he had some room and a nice open field tackle by number 13.
Roderick Manuel. That was a saving tackle, too, because Ferguson might have gone for the first down.
He had all kinds of turf on the right side. Roderick Manuel, a sophomore, played a lot last year as a freshman. That's a good stop. 3rd and 10. We've got 4:45 to go in the first half. Arlington leading 19-0. Colts with one shutout this year against Burleson. And behind and over Steve Chase.
Defending out here on the play was Cedric Bryant. That'll bring up a 4th down, and the Colts will be forced to punt for the first time tonight.
The first punt, and that means Sean McLaughlin, number 88, a senior. Bryant with 4 intercepts, the leader in the Western Hills secondary. So McLaughlin standing at the 15. They're going after him. Here come the ends, and just gets rid of it.
Nice kick.
Sliding grab made by Bryant Goodale, number 21. Due to the number of games at Texas Stadium in the bi-district round, we will not bring you the halftime performance. So Western Hills has it on the 44. Down 19-0, 4:29 to go in the half. Arlington 8-2, Western Hills at 5-5. Classical Freeman, the only setback behind Jackson. Throws a block and nobody there.
Oh, and what pressure the Arlington defense put on Jackson that time. He had to unload it, and he had nobody really to throw it to. This is exactly what Arlington defense wanted to do. They wanted to get into a position where Jackson would have to throw the ball. He's not that good a passer.
Derek Jones in his face, number 50, the senior.
He's thrown 11 interceptions on 84 passes just coming into this game, and only 1 touchdown on the year.
2nd down and 10. Here's Freeman, 45, over midfield, and Freeman about a yard shy of a first down.
And I think he tripped over his own man. Looked like back about the 48-yard line. Otherwise, he would have had the first down.
And more. Freeman.
Let's see if we can see it here. Yeah, right there, he trips over his own man, number 74, who was down on the ground, Joey Snyder, one of the co-captains here tonight for Western Hills.
Kind of hard to step around Snyder. He's 265.
That's for sure.
Like stepping over a shopping basket on the aisle. Supermarket.
Oh, nice play.
Oh, he's short.
Depends on what kind of a mark they give him here. Looks like they're going to mark it short, too.
The handoff to Classical Freeman, bolted over the left side. and didn't get it.
Nope. 4th and 1.
4th down and a yard.
And that's a long yard, too.
Wade Brandt comes on, number 86. On 4th and a yard, you've got 3:20 to go in the first half.
It's like one of those 4-foot yards.
Wishbone this time.
They're going.
The halfback getting the first down. The left halfback out of the wishbone getting the first down. That's number 22, Montague Cradell.
Kiblinger and Davern in on the stop.
And that is the first down for the Cougars. The first down of the game. It came with 3:25 to go in the half. Haynes, the right half, number 43. Here's the option. Jackson, well, he thought about pitching it off, and a good thing he didn't. Taken down by number 16, Jeff Bodor. Look at Jackson. He had both hands wrapped around, thought about lobbing it out.
Yeah, he did.
Gets 2 yards, 2nd down and 8 with 2:25 to go in the half.
I think the Colts have seen some films on him, or they've scouted him pretty well, because they're not allowing him to do that option pitch the way he normally would.
Here's the fake and the throw and the catch by Jesse Haynes. Jesse Haynes with a grab and a couple of yards shy of a first down.
Yeah, knocked out of bounds by Bodor.
Bring up 3rd down and a couple. Jackson came into this game with 444 yards of passing. He was 33 out of 77. And tonight, his first completion. From the Arlington High, 37. 3rd and 2. From the bone, here's Haynes. First down, 35. Haynes to the 31.
And a saving tackle there by, let's see who that is. That's Jarek Jones, number 50.
First down, number 2 for Western Hills as Haynes ran around number 17, Davern, who was flying by. Tried to knock him loose.
It's a
2 minutes to go.
Nice drive that Western Hills is putting together here.
And some confusion. The wide receiver now coming in a little tighter. That's Don Lanier, number 44. He's the pitch man. That's why Lanier on the end around. 25. Lanier inside the 20 and down to the 15.
Oh, that's a nice play. 16 yards on that reverse.
Yeah, a gadget play with number 44, Don Lanier, a junior at 170.
Lanier's big game this year was against, well, let's see, it was against Denton, the first game of the year. Carried 10 times for 72 yards.
A minute 35 to go. Arlington leading 19-0 from the Colt 15. And to the 13, couple of tough yards.
Jones there for the tackle.
Cradell, Montague Cradell, the runner.
Well, they've got 4 or 5 backs that if they can ever get loose can go because they've got a lot of speed.
They've got 1 timeout left.
They've got 1 minute and 7 seconds here to go in the first half.
Cedric Shores is flexed out to the left on 2nd and 8.
Penalty. They're going to whistle it dead. Must have been some motion or something up front.
Little movement as Tennessee Jackson pulled out of the pocket. And here is the indication. Illegal procedure, Western Hills. It'll be 2nd and 13. They need points. They're down 19-0.
First penalty of the game for Western Hills, 5 yards. Arlington's been penalized 3 times for 15. 62 yards now on the ground for Western Hills. 62 yards on the ground for Arlington.
2nd and 13 from the 18. Tennessee Jackson looking back across and hits the tight end, and there's a nice tackle at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. Kiblinger on Brian Tabor, number 87.
Tabor, their leading receiver on the year.
A yard gain.
He's the only one to catch a touchdown pass so far this year for Western Hills.
Kiblinger able to get around big number 77, Darren Thomas, and apply the stop. A yard gain, 3rd and 12. Roll out, Jackson looking end zone. He lofts it up and batted away.
Nice play by Kiblinger.
Knocked away from number 87, Brian.